Alright, I just pause the video. I'm gonna start editing in HTV 265. I think it has a better bitrate on it, so like my videos can retain more quality, which is awesome.
Something I can do for you?
Oh, Colonel Shu. Is that your dad? Or the general?
I'm usually good with faces, but I don't think I've seen you here before. What brings you to Camp McCarran?
Here to provide support. Anything I might be able to help with?
You don't cook by any
Turn my
chance,
body
do
down
you?
by accident.
Farber's doing his best, but it's hard to manage an army with half my staff in line for the latrine. Honestly, we're fighting a lot of fires right now. The fiends keep pressing their position from Vault 3. We've got the Legion breathing down our necks across the river. We actually took an officer alive last week, but so far he hasn't spoken a word.
Any other problems?
Yeah. On top of everything else, I can't send a patrol on a bathroom break without it being ambushed by someone who heard they were coming. So somebody's getting the word out.
You seem calm, giving everything.
Calm is what you have to be when people look to you. And it's all you can be when things are out of your hands.
How's it going for the NCR right now?
Could be better, I'll say that much. We set up here with our sights set on annexing New Vegas. It's a lot of resources that could do a lot of good for us. But that hasn't happened. If anything, they annexed us. They rake in the profits from our soldiers, and we're stuck protecting them from the Legion. Not exactly the plan.
Where does that leave you?
Now we're trying to secure the Strip and the dam at the same time, and it's costing us. And in the meantime, General Oliver won't approve any offensive maneuvers, because he doesn't want to risk losing our positions. So we're in a holding pattern here. And Caesar's on the other side of the river, planning.
Where do you know the fiends are? I could talk to that prisoner.
I have Lieutenant Boyd on that already, and she's excellent, but I think she's hit a wall. Talk to her if you like. See if she has any use for you. Her office is right above mine, but I think she might be interrogating right now. So she'd be upstairs on the other side of the building.
Who's leaking the intelligence?
Well, why not? Given your recent arrival, at least I can safely rule you out as the leak. I'd like to have absolute trust in my men, but that's just not practical right now. Go ahead and look into it. See what you find. We don't have much to go on right now. Lately, every raiding party in New Vegas seems to have a map of our troop movements. It derails everything. Supplies, reinforcements, and it'll only get worse the longer we let it go on. Captain Curtis is heading up the investigation right now. He can fill you in.
Alright, we got a mission, and I'll do that later, because I still have to talk to the other lady since I sent a mission. Let's Captain McCarran roll in the operations.
It's our main base. We took it because it lets us keep an eye on the Strip, and it had already been fortified before the Great War. From here we handle most of the logistics for our operations in Nevada. Troop allocation, supply distribution, intel. Usually General Oliver runs the show here, but he's on his way to the dam now, so I've taken on a lot of his duties here.
Alright. Are things mostly quiet between here and the dam?
Unfortunately, no. In fact, the word from the ranger stations has been especially concerning lately. Sounds like they've run into overwhelming resistance, and supplies just aren't reaching them. It's been so bad, I asked Sergeant Reyes at Camp Forlorn Hope to look into it, and see how it is that things could be so fouled up there.
What challenges does the NCR face here?
Everything was going according to President Campbell's plan at first. We met minor resistance from local troublemakers. But our two main objectives are still contested. Mr. House controls the Strip, and he won't so much as meet with our ambassador. And we're holding Hoover Dam. But Caesar's Legion is positioning itself to overrun it. If it falls, so will New Vegas. We'd be forced to withdraw.
Alright, and... whatever, who are the fiends?
As in chem fiends. Biggest gang of raiders I've ever seen. Nothing like addiction to swell your numbers. Psychotic and completely unpredictable. They set up shop in Vault 3 to the west. Every day they attack our positions and my men repel them. But every day there's more of them and less of us. I sent one of my rangers after their leader to try and destabilize them. He didn't return. Hell of a thing, losing a ranger. You come to depend on them, and they come through for you so often, you forget it can happen.
I'll go on Vault 3 so you can find your ranger.
That vault is a hornet's nest. If you have second thoughts, No one would think less of you for it. But if you can get him home, it'd mean a lot. Watch for civilians, too. The fiends have been kidnapping locals. They just walk right into people's homes in the middle of the day and take them. But the man you're looking for is Bryce Anders. Anders was trying to find the leader, Motor Runner. You hear something like a chainsaw? You've found Motor Runner. Put a bullet in his head, and you'll have some new friends around here.
Alright.
Bye. Something I can do for
It'll be a while before I kill Motor Runner. I remember his face. Once he said Motor Runner, sounds like the chainsaw dick to me. Oh, hello, beautiful. Angela Williams.
A little busy at the moment, but I can talk.
What's this place?
This? The OSI lab. We don't get many visitors. The smell puts people off, I think. Nobody ever said science would smell clean and fresh. Anyway, you get used to it if you give it some time.
Are you a scientist?
I know I don't sound the part. Get raised by Brahmin ranchers and you never lose the twang. Drives Hildern crazy. But I know every inch of the power grid from Hoover Dam to Shady Sands. That's what we do here.
Grids.
Try to optimize the power output from the dam. Some of the others are working on an agricultural project, but truth be told, they aren't making much progress. Not yet, anyway.
What's your role here?
Head researcher. Mostly on the dam project, but I help out on other things when they need me. Gotta be flexible.
Anything needs help?
You mean give you work? No, that'd be up to the administrator, Hildern. He's back there in his office. Between you and me, I don't think he ever leaves. Plenty of mercs go in to see him, though.
Mercs for what?
I can't say. We're not supposed to talk about the research. Not the details. If you're interested, I'm sure he'd see you.
Alright, I'll talk to him then, Angela. Thank you.
Nice to meet you. If you need anything, I'm almost always in the lab.
Alright, let me talk to this man. Hello, Hildern. You don't...
Hello.
You look suspicious, my
A
friend.
pleasure to meet you. I'm Dr. Thomas Hildern, Director of Operations, OSI East. I presume you're here about Vault 22?
Oh, I gotta talk to you anyways. I got an invoice from Alice.
From Alice. I'll see that she's paid right away. Crimson Caravan runs a tight operation. Even out here in the waste, wouldn't do to keep them waiting. Was there anything else? Or were you just here about the invoice?
Miss Vault 22, that might be willing to help.
Wonderful. Straight to it then. Have you signed the release forms? No? Doesn't matter. We'll keep that to ourselves. Vault 22. Where to begin?
I'm listening.
Imagine, if you will, the wasteland in bloom. Vast fields of corn that grow from seeds and produce their bounty in the space of a month. Orchards of trees, their branches weighed halfway to the ground, hung with fat, ripe oranges, a harvest that could feed a city or a nation. And all this, requiring no more than a few drops of precious water, and the efforts of only a handful of human farmers. Impossible?
Nothing's impossible.
Precisely. Science has proven that truth 1,000 times over. But how many wasteland savages believe it? Present company accepted.
Not everything's possible,
The
but
bounty I described to you is
the
no
impossible
idle
is
fantasy.
possible.
It exists in primitive form only a few
impossible is
miles
impossible.
from where we stand. We need only reach out and unlock its secret. For that, the OSI needs you.
Scientific discovery's never been simple.
Isn't it? One directs one's efforts, or the efforts of others, toward a goal, and progress is made. It's a matter of incentives, nothing more. I believe that the inhabitants of Vault 22 unlock the secrets of vegetative growth. Plants are spilling from their gate. No one tends them. No one waters them. Yet they multiply and spread in all directions. Find the reason for this miraculous growth, and I promise you the OSI will see that you are generously compensated.
Alright, I'll do it.
Good. No need to check in with the NCR authorities. I can authorize your payment from OSI accounts. Vaults typically contain a server room on a lower level, where they would have backed up their research data. A computer room, you understand? Download all the information on the central server to your Pip-Boy, and you'll be certain to bring me any notes or samples that you find, won't you?
Sure, hopefully I think it pops on my map. There stands the grass. Anything else you know?
I thought it was a fairly straightforward assignment. It's a simple question of retrieving the data, which shouldn't prove overly challenging. Downloading the data will be handled by your Pip-Boy. You might think of yourself as a mere means of conveyance. No insult intended, of course.
Not taken. Any other questions?
Oh? What might those be?
Tell me about OSI.
The Office of Science and Industry. It's a rather expansive topic. I could talk for hours, but I'm sure I'd bore you. Suffice to say, we are the leading edge of the NCR. Our work focuses on practical matters: medicine, engineering, biology. The dam, for instance. OSI routes its energy supply to our cities in the West. That's only one responsibility of this office.
You said you're the director?
Director of the entire OSI? Me? If I didn't know better, I'd say you were trying to plant seditious ideas in my head. No, I direct our eastern operations. I've been responsible for squeezing unprecedented levels of power from the dam. I'm also confronting the problem of food production in what little spare time I have. But I've found some promising leads.
I know about that. I already know about that. You're doing all these things yourself?
Yes, with the assistance of my team, of course.
NCR has a food shortage?
Not yet, but our government understands the value of proactive thought. Our studies project an imbalance between production and consumption. Or, for a layman such as yourself, not enough food, too many mouths to feed. Mass starvation in a decade or so.
What other responsibilities does the office have?
We aid some programs the Republic has sponsored involving sharecropper farms in the area. But those haven't panned out too well from what I hear. There have been complaints about the amount of water we're supplying. But those are just excuses for lack of diligence, I'm sure.
You control the dam from here?
Directly? No. But we attempt to maximize its output. You have no idea how difficult it is to provide power to an entire nation. We were starting to bring the Helios 1 facility online as well. That might have increased our power output by half. But some wasteland scum managed to sabotage the array. Probably got quite a laugh at our expense. Very funny indeed. I'd pay a year's salary for a crack at that maniac. Not that he'd ever show his face in a place like this.
I wonder who. I didn't mean to do it on purpose, though. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Too many people have
Look, I'm
opinions
skipping
on
shit.
things they know nothing about. And the more ignorant they are, the more opinions they have.
Alright, so all I want to talk about.
Oh.
Oops, at least no one knows I'm a
Yes, goodbye.
bad guy. I'm a bad guy.
Download complete. Begin recording.
Hello?
Vero Outpost Scientist, I am glad that EDE has reached you. You will find several data banks of information on this machine.
Alright. Continue.
Please handle this information with the utmost care, as it represents the sum total of the results of my research on the Duraframe iBots. There are also several data banks with information on my research into Poseidon Energy
What
and
is
some
this?
projects they were working on in the Mojave area.
I never ever understand this.
Did Dr. Hildern... This really isn't any of my business, but did he give you a job?
Yeah, 22.
I shouldn't say anything. I know that. But you're not the first person Hildern sent out to the vault. There
Kinda
were a
got
lot
that.
of mercs.
You were talking about the mercs
one after
earlier.
another. None of them came back.
Kinda got that.
Then about a week ago, there was a scientist, Keeley. She's unusual. Not the sort of person you'd expect, but she's an absolute genius, and he didn't mention her? Not even her name? Or any of the other mercs?
Nope. Nope.
But now he's hired you, which means one of two things. Either he heard back from Keeley, and she failed, or he's given up on her. Listen, I make a fair wage, but I'm not rich, not by any means. Maybe my kind of money wouldn't appeal to your average merc, but I'm willing to pay you if you'll find Keeley and make sure she's safe. Isn't right leaving her out there. No idea if she's alive or dead.
I'll look out for her.
I had a good feeling about you. Moment you walked in.
I'll do it for
I
no
mean
money. I'll do it just for the thought. Questions?
Of course. Anything.
Can you tell me anything else about Keely?
Keely's brilliant. An absolute genius. She plays at being mean, but it's all a front. When you've lived as long as she has, you get defensive around
she's a
new
little
people.
old.
Who wants to make a friend when you know you'll outlive them?
Or is she a child?
I couldn't get her to say, but she talked about the war. The Great War, when the bombs fell, like she'd been there. So, I'm guessing pretty old. 200 years? Maybe more.
How do Keely and Hildred get along?
Like a Brahmin and a Deathclaw, though I'm not sure which would be which. Bad analogy, maybe. They're both Deathclaws in their way. Keely hates Hildern. She says he's more politician than scientist, and gets in the way of true discovery. And Hildern hates Keely because... well, because every time they meet, she makes him look like an ass. In front of important people, usually.
Alright. Hildern mentioned to follow the apocalypse.
My father used to say good things about them, but that was years ago. Back when they teach farmers and ranchers about crop rotation and the like. Nowadays, they've changed. They're doing what they can to discredit the NCR, give us a bad name with the locals. Dr. Hildern trained with them years ago. Not me, though. I'm an OSI girl.
What do you think of Hildern?
The director? He's very well-spoken and knowledgeable.
It's not like you don't like him. He seems very focused on results. Maybe not so much on people.
He's not what you'd call warm, unless he wants something from you. And even then, it's kind of a cold warm. Most of the time, I focus on the science and try to forget him. He doesn't get mixed up in any actual work, though he tells people that he does.
So Hildern takes credit for your work.
He sure does. Everyone knows it. I've just got to endure this job until the project is finished. But abandoning Keely, he crossed a line. Taking credit for other people's work is one thing. Sending people to die in the waste is another. If Hildern tries to recruit any more mercs, I'm gonna warn them. What can he do to me? I'm the only one who can run this lab.
Alright. I hear food is around here. Well, I hear the food around here is pretty bad.
It's foul, to tell the truth. Most people try to get what they can from the outside, even if it's just a smuggled candy bar now and then. Contreras is a genius. He can find almost anything you'd want. Takes caps to get him motivated, though. He won't do a thing for free.
Alright, who's Contreras? I gotta talk to him.
Right. Stay safe.
Alright, you can talk to me, buddy?
Hey.
Nope. You just came inside. Do I have any missions? Because I picked up quite a few being in here. Oh, look at that. I picked up like 5 missions. Edie, you got any messages on you? Because remember, before you talked to what's her face, you were just
NCR is
going
investing
off
in new
with
research.
logs.
We're getting left in the dust.
I mean, yeah, of course you can get left in the dust. Go the other way. It's 2 doors. I don't know which one to go through. It's a pretty big, open, kind of empty place, same time. Hello? Guess it's a cell.
Boyd's in there with a prisoner right now. Boy, is she pissed.
Hello.
Boyd's in there with a prisoner right now.
Walter
Boy, is she
Hornsby.
pissed.
Hello, Boyd. I heard you need help.
You stick out like a sore thumb around here. You sure you're in the right place?
Who are you?
Not big on reading name tags, huh? That's okay. My name is long and difficult to pronounce. Ready for it? It's Boyd. Lieutenant Boyd to my friends. Colonel Shu has me handling the policing duties for the base. I've told him he could make my job a whole lot easier if he would just let me shoot anyone who talks back to me. But you know how colonels can be.
No, you can't do that. That's not smart. Well, I mean, pretty sure he's right, Boyd. Carrie, you need any help?
Yeah, so far this has gone exactly as expected. Poorly. But with the work you've done for NCR already, you might be just what I've been looking for. We captured an honest-to-God centurion of Caesar's Legion recently.
Is that a big deal?
Better believe it. Everybody in Caesar's Legion, from Caesar on down, will kill themselves before they can be captured. They're so twitchy they'd probably do it if you reached out to hug them. But here's this guy, who's an elite commander in their army, and he just gives himself up, even as his men are slitting their own throats around him.
What do you think that means?
Well, I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a man who's willing to cooperate. Except he hasn't. Only times he speaks up are to insult you. He's a real prick, by the way. And I'm supposed to get information out of this guy.
Why don't you just beat up the prisoner senseless?
I like the way you think. Have I said that yet? Problem is that the NCR frowns on using that sort of tactic. There are some restrictions still in place from President Tandy's administration.
Okay, I'm gonna
But here's
do
my
it.
favorite thing about you. You're not in the NCR. Plus, for all this guy knows, you're completely insane. That's a winning combination.
I'll have to box him. So you want me to do what you can't?
I think if you rough him up enough and really put some fear into him, he'll sing like a choir boy. So let's do this. When you're ready, I'll go in and give you a little intro. Then I leave the room and you make him regret the day he was born. We go back and forth a couple times until either he talks or he can't move his jaw anymore. Either way, we've had our entertainment for the day.
I object to the use of violence against prisoners of war.
Ah, tear my heart out, why don't you? Well, maybe you can find a way to play with his mind, get him out of his comfort zone. People lose their heads and say things they regret, especially if they underestimate you. This dickhead would underestimate a nuclear missile. Plenty of ways to skin a cat, as they say. Hey, what if we skinned him? Bet he wouldn't be so smug then.
Oh, you're funny. Let's get started.
That's the spirit. Okay, I'll go in and have a word with him. Then I'll call you in.
Let me hard save, because I don't know what's gonna happen. We're at 22 minutes. So I'm gonna pause.